I will start by thanking everybody for coming this morning. We are here to support innovation in financial markets across Africa with a view of crowding in capital to support the sustainable development of the continent. So we are particularly focused on capital market development. And some of our growth areas in the future will include carbon market development and also nature financing, which are some of the new areas that are coming through. I would like to say thank you very much to all of the participants in the room, particularly to PENOP, for their continued partnership. I'd like to say thank you to my team for all the hard work they put in. Thank you to our colleagues at FCDO, and thank you very much for collaborating on this event. Many thanks indeed, and enjoy the rest of the day.
The British government is committed to supporting Nigeria's financial sector, especially the capital market, to become more innovative, sustainable, resilient, as we face emerging challenges such as climate change, biodiversity loss, and environmental degradation, all of which are extremely big issues in Nigeria and increasingly large issues affecting the lives of many millions of people. And we really hope that this roundtable will provide an opportunity to attract additional institutional funds, and that's much needed, channeling even more private finance into some of these objectives. But to be supported to do so is really important to us.
What we need to do is to begin to look at the challenges in a different way and use the capital that we manage in a more innovative way. What needs to happen is for that capital to be deployed in a manner that seeks to solve some of these challenges, and for the capital to be deployed adequately in a way that compensates the capital providers for their risk, for their time, and also compensates the people who manage those funds. I'd just like to thank once again FSD Africa for the work they've been doing, and I want to challenge them to do more. And also calling on other partners to bring their capital, their knowledge, their expertise, and their reach. We need sustainable models. We need new models, we need new products, we need new mindsets, because the problems ahead of us are new.
Climate change has a lot of impact on investments. Africa is a developing continent. It's urbanizing very quickly, so it basically means that we have a significant investment needs in the built environment, in infrastructure, housing, power, etc., and water as well. And we can build in a more climate resilient manner. We can future-proof the investments. That's a very strong developmental reason why we should be taking into account climate issues as we do our investments. Over the last 10 years, from 2011 to about 2021, global climate finance has doubled. What I'm actually very happy to note is that the role of the private sector has been improving, and private sector investments has increased to a 50% market share of global climate financing. But we need to speed up that investment. The invest mindset is very traditional, but I hope that we can start thinking differently and start moving from that very traditional approach towards the impact trajectory.
If you live in a country like Nigeria and we have so many deficits, you understand why investing for development is really, really fundamental. I'm excited about the potential that we have as a market, as a nation, to do a tremendous amount with green finance and with sustainable finance. Partnerships are really critical. None of us on our own has the ability to do it on our own. It's going to take a collaboration of development partners. It's going to take a collaboration of local entities that are enabling long-term capital formation, and all of us working together to deliver the right development outcomes.
I think one of the biggest innovations that have the potential to transform lives is the capital market. The platform it presents that allows money to flow from those who want to save to those who need it is really very transformational. But how do you make that more inclusive? How do you ensure that it's not just limited to the few, but I can actually address prosperity by enabling that capital to access those who really need it for growth. And I'm sure that with the partners here and those involved in this program, that we would really pay attention to taking advantage of successes and really ensure that we can leverage our capital markets, our bulk of domestic resources to achieve what I believe is inclusive growth and prosperity.
It's actually limited to think that the traditional banking would solve some of our development problems. What else do? We act as conduits to help structure the transaction and then bring it into the market such that investors can actually get the benefit of investing in the right projects. The point has been made about default rates. I think it's very important. We don't nearly talk about it as often as we should. In all of the 300 billion of capital that I can estimate that has been raised, I have not heard of a single default. Not one. So it's important that for a roundtable such as this, that the message is passed that we need to do more in terms of capital allocation via alternative routes that is directed directly to projects where the greatest need is.
Lagos State and implementing partners of the Nigerian Green Bond Markets Program been able to sign the implementation of this ongoing green bond that we're going to issue to fund our green and blue sustainable and infrastructural projects across the state. This is the first by subnational. After this green, we intend to go blue, we intend to go sustainable linked, so many other plans that the state has in the thematic area.
As PFAs, we have a fiduciary responsibility towards contributors. In a time like this where inflation is at high levels, 22%, contributors also want to have competitive returns to back up, to cover up, for the high inflation, so that at the end of the day, the real value of their contributions are kept intact, And so those are some of the challenges that PFAs have, that inform the need to balance between developmental objectives and return prospects.
Now, is it possible for us to live in a world where there are other metrics beyond accounting performance, so beyond the financials, so other measures of performance? It may require a lot of work with consultants, with policymakers, with regulators, and come up with some metric by which we can measure impact. As it is today, because we don't measure it, or because there's no measure of tracking it, then the default thing from most of the market is to default to what? To returns. And of course, if it's demanded, then someone will supply.
So some of the work we've been doing today, from where I sit, is okay, if we can't get a lot of these corporate issuers to the market, how do we get the market to penetrate certain segments, particularly from a thematic sense of view? And we'll keep looking at, looking at ways of creating those innovative solutions to sort of in collaboration between the market, the banking sector, and other institutional players, so that all of what we call challenges today, we can flip them to the other side and create opportunities out of them.
I think we've developed the expertise to construct, to design really innovative projects in these core sectors. And our track record is quite solid as of today. So I think what we're offering to the PFAs is a co-investment fund that looks to support integration of physical climate risks in infrastructure.
Our role, especially as the NSIA, is to be the conduit that enables regulation to be clear, clean, transparent, and that in this way, financiers, when they bring in capital, they are aware that I can take it out in this manner, I can get my returns in this way, and therefore I can facilitate and, yes, support these projects that are easily verifiable and measurable and deliver the impact that we need.
I want to thank FSDA, I want to thank the FCDO, and the partnership with PENOP. It's been a great program. So I want to thank all of you for coming and, just to give you the nudge to just put into action some of the things we've learned today. We'll be better for it. Our firms will be better for it. Nigeria will be better for it. So thank you, thank you, thank you.